men as they discover the music from Star Trek.
And that's me, Owen, playing and making an absolute mess of the opening from Star Trek Generations.
And me, Shane.
Hi. I couldn't even hear you. I was just playing too loud.
Was so loud. I couldn't hear myself there. I was like, this is two men, and we're surrounded by some very loud music. Hi.
Well, I think so far, I think this episode's off to a very good start. What I'd like to talk about now is we've looked at how the themes are built, the intervals that go into them, the harmonic changes that we sometimes see, and now I'd like to talk a little bit about what makes a good film score, what makes a not so good. I was going to say bad, but they're never really bad. So first, I'd like to look at an example of what a really, really first-rate composer does with, say, a battle sequence.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So the example I'm going to choose is from First Contact.
Oh, yeah.
This is Jerry Goldsmith. And this scene happens near the start of the film when the Federation fleet attacks the Borg cube. And
there's Sector 001, is it?
That could be, I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Well enough, but it's the one, it's near the start, and the Federation fleet is getting its ass kicked.
Yeah.
And when the scene starts, the Enterprise is patrolling the neutral zone, and they're listening to the audio of the battle, and they realize, okay, we have to do something about this.
And they're told to stay there.
Yeah, but they decide we're going to disobey orders, we're going to help them, and that's what they do. Now here's what Jerry Goldsmith does. He begins with this motif. And this motif, bum, 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 is one that he'd written originally for Star Trek V. And it's referred to in film score circles as either the friendship motif or the quest motif. Yeah. So as the crew decides we're going to disobey orders, we're going to join the fight, we hear this. With the quest motif.
Because we're going on a quest.
We're going on a quest. We're going to help out our friends also.
Yeah.
As soon as that, then the camera cuts to outside, and we see the ship flying off at warp speed, and we hear the oh no. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as soon as they've decided that they're going to help out, we see a shot of the ship flying off to warp, and we hear a statement of the Next Generation theme.
Yeah.
Hey. I can do this. I swear I can. Then we cut to the battle, and we hear the Borg motif, which is this. Okay, those format bum 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 bum, just a brutal pounding motif. That's what the Borg are. They're just this relentless crum crum. There's no subtlety.
Yeah.
Then we cut to the ship Defiant, where Worf is in command, and we hear the Klingon motif. And this was a motif that he wrote for Star Trek The Motion Picture, but he has since used it as Worf's theme. Anytime we see Worf on screen.
Oh yeah, of course. Leave that tune.
Right. Then we hear that a couple of times while he has a conversation on the bridge. Then the Enterprise arrives in the scene. We hear the Next Generation theme again. Then it cuts down to underscore while they have a conversation on the bridge. Let's just listen to that track, and I'll talk you through it.
Okay.
Quest motif.
Oh yeah.
Next Generation theme. Borg motif. So what the music does is it's the whole battle. It's right there. Every character that appears, we see them, we hear their motif.
Introducing the characters.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, blasted Borg.
This is like opera. This is how Wagner would write operas. Every character has their own leitmotif.
Yeah.
Here comes Worf.
It's like riding into battle.
Yeah, well, he's on the ship Defiant and they're getting destroyed. But
it's just it's almost like he's coming up over a hill with horses. Like that's
and that's how it would be in an opera. A character appears on stage, you hear their theme. Or if something happens, like you might have a love theme or a bravery theme, and it appears when that thing happens. Here comes the Enterprise. And now we're on the bridge of the Enterprise, so the music gets softer, so we can hear them talking. And in the background, it's derived from the Borg theme, because Picard, as you know, is hearing the Borg voices still in his head. It's a mutated version. So let's fade out there. So that's what really, really great film music can do. It's following the characters. It's illustrating what's happening on screen at all times. Here's an example, unfortunately, of when it doesn't work so well.
Oh, okay.
Here is Star Trek Generations, and this is likewise, it's a space battle, so I tried to take two scenes that were as similar as I could. And this is the scene where the Enterprise and the Klingon bird of prey are battling, and the Klingons have figured out how to penetrate the Enterprise's shields. Yeah. And it's back and forth between different things, but
it's going from one ship to the other, ship to the other.
And different characters, different events. Here's the music. Now this thing, you think, oh, this is a motif. Da 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 dum.
Yeah.
But apart from this initial statement, it's not really developed. What we're getting here and what we get from the TV series is just underscore. We get the mood that there is danger here. And that's fine for a TV show, because all you've got time to do is to write.
Yeah.
You know, you have to work quickly. You might have a day or two to write the music for an episode. You play it all yourself on a synthesizer.
That's the same. There's someone sitting on a keyboard like you are.
Yeah. So what we got here is that there's lots of little motifs that are being used and thrown aside. Nothing's being developed. Nothing is calling back to earlier in the film. It's just, it's mood. This is overall, there's a battle happening. There's danger here. You can hear the danger.
There's a little bit of military drums.
There's militaries. There's something's exploding.
It's like reacting to everything.
Yeah. Something big is happening here. I don't know what. And we're here. There's little fragments of things.
Yeah.
But they're not adding together. There are no themes here.
Yeah.
There is no characters' themes. It's just.
Here it is.
Yeah. So that's what music is like when it's not so good. It's too generic. He's illustrating the general mood, but nothing specific. Now, Jerry Goldsmith I gave as an example of really great film music. But there is one score of his that has been... It was a disappointment, and that's the score for Nemesis.
Oh, okay.
Because considering what it could have been, it was the final film in the Next Generation cast.
So sad.
End of an era.
I didn't think it was a terrible film, but it
wasn't great.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't of the same standards as the other, of the other even-numbered films.
They had some great ideas, and then just kind of went weird ways with them.
Yeah.
And I loved the whole idea of Shinzon being a clone of Picard, all that kind of that worked brilliantly.
Okay, so
in contrast,
let's say
as a concept.
Okay, let's work on that. Let's say you are the composer and you want to illustrate what are the main ideas of Star Trek Nemesis. Yeah. What are those ideas?
To me, it's almost like he has a responsibility of almost fatherhood to him a little bit. And
simpler still. This is like leaving Cert English. What are the themes? What are the themes of Star Trek Nemesis? I would say it's duality. It's the idea, because you've got Picard and Shinzon, obviously. Yeah. You've got Data and B4.
Oh, of course, sorry.
You've got the Romulans and the Remans.
Yeah.
There's all this idea of one thing and then a shadow version of that thing. Yeah. Clones and prototypes, and it's all about things occurring in twos, things that are very similar but not quite the same. Yeah. And you can depict that in music. Here's the most obvious way. Here's a D. Here's a chord of D. Here is also a chord of D. Okay. D major and D minor, and all that makes them different is this one note in the middle, F sharp or F natural. So this is one way of depicting an idea of mirror versions of the same thing.
Yeah.
And from that we can get this motif of just the falling semitone. That brings us from major to minor, and also notes that are semitones apart. That's the closest together that two different notes can be. It's the most similar you can get while still being different. And the theme from Nemesis is all built on this. We begin with just open fifths. So we don't have major or minor.
Yeah.
And then we hear the theme. So it begins almost with a hint of the bum ba bum with the original Oz's Got a Courage, but so we begin. We get an F sharp in here, but then this falling semitone, and he repeats it. Then we hear the dun da ba ba bum, and we hear bum bum ba bum da da ba da bum. Yeah. And then it's pure rhythm from that point on. The theme, Shinzon's theme, when we start to hear it, is all built on falling semitones. This major minor thing. Here's Shinzon's theme. It starts da-dum, da-dum. His theme, when we hear it, is so falling semitone, falling semitone. His theme is all built on that. The contrasting idea for his theme is then a rising semitone, which is this.
Oh, yeah.
And then the harmony falls a semitone from F major to E minor. So you've got rising semitones, falling semitones, major chords, minor chords. The problem with this theme, as Christian Clemenson of filmtracks.com pointed out, is that it's all substance and no style.
Oh, okay.
He has captured the idea of the film brilliantly, but I just don't think it's a theme that would stick in your head. It's not a theme that you're going to be humming for days afterwards.
No.
It's intelligently done. It's a perfect way to illustrate the theme and the character.
Yeah.
But let's just listen to it.
Okay.
So, D, A, up in fifths.
Oh, yeah.
Timeless feeling to this too.
Yeah.
Space. Here we go. Falling semitone.
Oh, yeah.
There's also something very lonely about this, a solo trumpet playing out into space. Because Shinzon is a very lonely character as well. There's a lot of sadness in him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's our Alexander Courage fourths motif, cut off by different key. And now pure rhythm.
Oh, wow. It's almost like cannon fire.
Yeah, and falling semitones. Here's his theme. Now in C minor. Now we get some rising, stabbing semitones in the strings. You get this motif. Nope, it's later on. Sorry. We get more brass blasts first. Here. That da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Semitones. I think Jaws. Da-dum, da-dum.
Yeah, it's kind of
the horns, and that's about the strings. So that's an example. So it's a really strongly constructed theme. But tell me honestly, could you sing that back? Will that be?
No,
will you be whistling that in the shower?
It's almost
tomorrow?
like, because you gave me 3 examples there, and just as I was thinking about it, it's you almost have the good, the bad, and the ugly. In terms of,
right?
Because the first one is just brilliant.
Yeah.
And then from First Contact.
Yeah.
And then for Generations, it's just a bit kind of
it's
effortless.
Just a bit meh.
Yeah. And then that is really, really clever, brilliant. But it's a little ugly, as you were saying. It has no kind of overall theme to it. It doesn't all gel together perfectly. That it just has that little bit of it just doesn't quite. It's not memorable. It's just
I think
it's very forgetful.
I think it's really, really well made, but it's as Clemenson said, I can't approve of it. It's all substance and no style. And the best Star Trek scores have always had style.
Yeah.
And I would just like to conclude, since we've had a good underscore, bad underscore. I don't want to call it bad, but unsuccessful theme.
That's what I was calling it. That's the ugly one.
Yeah, I want to finish by being nice to Dennis McCarthy, because I said his DS9 theme sounds like the evening news, and his Generations underscore was just sort of background music. I want to say one thing for him, and that is his theme for Generations is really, really good.
Yeah.
Remember our forts?
Yeah.
And you think we've done, like we try altering them, working with that. He does one thing that no one else has done with them. If you have your forts, you don't have to play them in that order. I've got F, B flat, E flat, but I could play B flat, E flat, F, or E flat, F, B flat. It's the same sound, but it's no longer in the same. You know, it's too recognizably, and that's what he makes his theme. His theme is built on that. On forts that have been moved around a bit. And I think it's a really clever way of doing it. Yeah. Then when he gets into the theme... It's got adventure. And this moment here, I think it sounds good because it's got a bit of pain in it. You know, the recognition that, you know, the Star Trek heroes, they're always out in the galaxy trying to do the right thing, but the right thing isn't always the easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And I think the theme reflects that.
Yeah.
And then here.
If you could see your face when you hit that note.
But can't you
you're
feel
just
it?
So like,
yeah. Like, this is why I'm glad we don't have cameras here. But I love that. So that's the one thing I will say nice about Dennis McCarthy, is that he wrote a good theme.
Yeah,
he did well there. So we all have our good days and our bad days, and because of that, because I was a bit mean to him earlier. I think we should give Dennis McCarthy the last word and play out with the theme from Star Trek Generations.
Okay. And we'll be back another time
to talk about something. If I discover something else about the Star Trek movies, I'll let you know.
Absolutely. Okay.